Independence Day. Thanks so much for hopping on. I see a lot of heavy hitters on here. My man, Big D, Dante, I see you. I see you, Gabe. I see you. I saw Shay on here earlier, Shay and T. I am sometimes a little jealous of the contract that these heavy hitters have, because I came to Primerica to experience overrides. That's why I came here. And the man you guys knew 12 months ago is not the man you guys know today. Things have developed. Somebody said once, there's two reasons you come. Actually, Art Williams said the reason he built Primerica is for two reasons. You come here for big part-time income or wealth. There is no in between. Last month we did 16,000 in the base, on me and below, and my income was actually pretty high. That's because of personal production. But I was listening to $3 million Bill Whittle and $700,000 earner Jeff Fieldstead, and what they were saying was in total alignment. It was, if you do 10, 20,000 base shop, he said, and this is them, not me. He said, you should be embarrassed. It's small, and we didn't come here for part-time income, so therefore we came here for wealth. And like, who you surround yourself with is everything. And a form of surrounding yourself with folks is the types of people you listen to on audios. Regional vice president is the ticket that gets you in the club for wealth through the override system. There's not a business structure in America that has the compensation that we have available to us right now through the multiples, through overrides. Today's Independence Day, but I've been thinking, are you free? Definitely for people that have jobs, but even me, right? Are you free of having to go out and personally produce? If you're not, how close are you to there by how many people you have personally developed? But for those that do have a job, are you independent of the job? What are you doing today on the 4th of July, a quote unquote holiday that truly builds a life that every day is a holiday for you? You should consider going full time. Why? Because of overrides. That's why. When you get overrides, you are experiencing a life of freedom. But there's never been a regional vice president in Primerica that was successful who wasn't full-time before going regional vice president. You say, Josh, going full-time is a risk. I have kids. Name one great thing that's happened in American history that wasn't risky. I just watched a movie on Netflix the other day called Malcolm X, because I just wanted to learn more of what they don't teach us in school. And boy, oh boy, did this man take risks every single day of his life, right? You have Abraham Lincoln. You have just great folks that accomplished great things that took risks to achieve that. Okay, you can either stay complacent and happy with where you are in life and not really grow anything of abundance for your family, or you can take a risk and win. And not just win, but win big. To win big, you must take risks, right? So now that you guys understand how to calculate compensation, guys, you should think about, what would my comp look like if I were a vice president? Always, not just like sometimes. I mean, like, if you have a life license and a securities license, the second you write that sale, and there's a twist to this. The second you write that sale, you should pull your calculator out and calculate what I could have made if I were a vice president. But the twist here, the twist truly is, how many of your people are you telling that to? Especially if you're a vice president on this call. I don't want to seem as though I'm bigger than I am. But what I do know is I'm walking, talking, and acting like a vice president now. The only thing that's missing is a couple more people. That's it. That's it. But I have everything in place that says I'm a vice president right now. I own that in my mind. Do you? If you're a district leader and above, you have at least a little bit of what you need to get to regional vice president. So if you're a leader, okay, and by the way, somebody told me on the kickoff meeting, actually it was Mary Walker, $1 Million Earner, she said, you're a leader the second you recruit one person. You're now a leader. So if you have recruited, even with the help of your upline, one person, you're now a leader. And if you're a leader, the question is, for everyone that's in your business, how many of them are you telling to calculate their compensation if they were a regional vice president? If you're not, you're prolonging your journey towards wealth. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Can I have the whiteboard? Whiteboard. All right. So with that being said, I don't just, preach something and not practice it. I practice what I preach. So what I did was I didn't start. I just drew what I could have looked like had I been a regional vice president. So this is May production, guys, for me. Okay, personally, I did 19,000 in May, and team, we did 23,000 in May. Okay, then I calculated what I would have earned as what I did earn as a division leader and as a regional vice president. All right, so personally, okay, my personal cash flow was 8,550. My overrides, because I got 10%. This is why you go to regional vice president. It's something called spread. The more you increase your contract level, the wider your spread becomes. But see, mine is 10% right now. That's okay. We're in the building phases. My overrides were $300. So total income was 8,850. Now you say, if because you got to look, in business, we don't go from January to December like employees do. We have a rolling 12 income. How much money did you make in the last 12 months? Okay, so because what you made in 1 month can be, if you stay consistent, a projection of what you'll earn over the next 12 months. So if I continue on that pace, okay, that's a $100,000 a year income below regional vice president. Now, then I said, wait a second, what if I actually were a vice president? So if I were a vice president and I did exactly what I did in May, I would have earned $15,000 of personal, $1,500, and the rides wouldn't have been $300, they would have been $1,200. Much bigger difference. That's worst case scenario, guys. That's the smallest percentage you can get on your spread as a vice president, 40%. And so you add that up. That is 16,000 $875. What you make in a month, if you stay consistent, is a projection of what you can make, will make all year long, times 12, guys. That is a $200,000 a year income. Okay? Some people in the company will look at that and say, gosh, how do you live on $200,000 a year? Right? I mean, but the case in point is that right there is $200,000 a year freedom, no boss, running your own schedule, seeing your kids' events whenever you want. I love the fact that T and Shay can be there for their son, for their daughter's events at all times. Can people at the job do that? No. Same thing in June. Okay, we have, but here's the difference though, because Shondell went over investments compensation, and this was a major, I guess, pivot that I included in my business. You want to have a balanced business in Primerica. So my production was 10,200. I dropped the ball a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. And 16,200. But here's the pivot. I added investments production as well. And, you know, little tip here, guys. There's something called scribing, okay? There's a book out there. I don't know if you can chime in, Shondell. I think it's called The Perfect Morning or something like that. The Miracle Morning. That's what it is, right? There you go. And it says how you start your morning will be a precursor to how you develop your day and end your day. And the Miracle Morning is, actually, can you say it? Because I don't remember the, I just remember scribe and stuff like that. What's the acronym?
It's SAVERS. SAVERS is the acronym. So
and what does that stand for?
Silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, where were we at? Read, I believe, and then scribe.
Scribe in that. Okay, everything else is super important, but the scribing, woo! They're the biggest, largest, highest performing organization in Primerica is down in Miami, Florida, the Naranjo hierarchy, with Miguel Illich, Diana, Marcia. You know, they have a culture where, and I see it on Instagram, they scribe all of their goals monthly and annually, what they hope to accomplish daily. And the art of scribing just does something subconsciously and within the universe, like they say, right? In the books, I like to say, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, brings forth everything you need to achieve your goal. Okay, one of my biggest goals that I was writing every day of the month was I'm going to close $250,000 of initial volume this month. But it just so happened to be the thing I was least focused on. That's nuts because I actually did it. And it was the thing I was least focused on. I attribute that to my consistency, my habits in scribing. That's what I attribute it to. So let's talk about what that paid out looked like. Okay, as a division, the personal cash flow on the life insurance was $4,590. The overrides was $450. Again, small spread, but you RVPs have the contract. You guys have the ticket. And anyone else that is within strike, if you're a district leader, you're within 18 months of striking distance of being an RVP. 18 months. That time's going to go by anyways. Okay, so that was the override, and the new addition to the income was the investments. Okay, and 4,700. Okay, they also added a bonus from this trip, but I'm not even including that. So just off that, the total income was 9,740. What you earn in a month, if you're consistent, is a telltale sign of what you're going to earn in the year. So if I were to do that below RVP, that's $120,000 a month, a year income. But see, I don't want to look at what I would have earned as a division, because in my mind, I'm a regional vice president. So what would I have earned if I was a regional vice president? On the personal life insurance side, $8,415. Okay, and where am I getting these numbers? Shondell just taught you how to do it. So the team, the override income would have been almost 2,000. Okay, now that's a start to good override income. Bruce Kalk earns $2,000 a day, guys, in all overrides. There's no personal cash flow there. Okay, so that's 2,000 in a month. Had I been an RVP, Bruce earns 2,000 a day in overrides. And then my investment income would have paid me $7,000. That's nuts. $7,000 on the investment had I been an RVP. Total income would have been $17,531. This should excite you guys. You should wake up and say, wow, what a business where I can virtually double my income by building others up and becoming an RVP. See, that would pay $220,000 a year. Again, did I come here for $220,000 a year? No, I came here for $1 million a year override income. So if we could go back to the presentation, I've got 2 slides left for you guys. So you say, no, go back. So you say, he's been talking about RVP this whole time, and what does regional vice president look like? Well, she taught you the guidelines on how to get there, but once you get there, you have to maintain at least, okay, it's called qualifying. So you have to have standards. For those of you that did 0 by 0 last month, I'm sorry, you have no standards. Okay, if you did, you would have done at least one thing. That's the bad news. The good news is you can change. How do I know? Because 6 months ago, I made $0 in January. 0. Nothing. That's how I know you can change. This month in July, you guys can do incredible things in your business, which will translate to your life. And this is what a regional vice president looks like. 6 district leaders. And what is a district leader? Someone that can get 3 to 5 clients on any given month by themselves or with the help of a small team. 6 times 5 is 30. That's why it says 18 to 30 clients for the regional vice president base shop. For this audio recording is not for the folks necessarily on this call, though I truly hope it inundates you with inspiration. But this audio tape is for the future regional vice presidents I am going to, and you guys hopefully are going to find in the second half of 2020. That's who this is for. I hope you show it to them. And a district leader, okay, is someone that can get 3 to 5 clients by themselves or with a small team on any given month, like clockwork. You can depend on them. 6, that's it, just 6. What is 5 clients in a month, guys? What is that? That's 5 QAs a week. 5 1-hour slots of a 168-hour week. 5. Okay? If you can train someone else how to do that as a district leader, they will make by themselves $2,500 a month. Now, some people might have families, they might need to make more than that. But the average individual can quit their job or think about quitting their job. 5 clients a month, no boss, at home. Would your people be happy with that? I think so. Jim Rohn said, and this blew my butt out of the water. He said, help enough other people pay their bills with no boss, your bills disappear. Woohoo! I love that because I hate paying bills. I heard Shaq and Samir's initial business partner Brett Burke say once he said, his mom asked him, what are you going to do for bills? He said, oh, I don't like bills that much, so I guess I just won't pay them. I wish that was me. But you got to pay your bills, right? But see, if you keep developing other people, and how do you do it? You start by developing yourself. You can't give what you don't have. You can't teach what you don't know. So pick up books on leadership, people skills, attitude, leadership, audios on this stuff so that you can give it to others. I can give it now because thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my cup is beginning to runneth over with what I can give personally to my team. So you got other requirements, 40 licensed agents, okay? You don't got to do that all by yourself. Leaders will start popping their heads up, and they will help you get those licenses. Shondell and I have a major goal, and we speak it into existence, like Shaq just said, to license 100 people in the next 6 months. 100, okay? You can do 40 in the next 18 months. 50 people showing up at 120 to 250,000 of income. Next slide. The next slide is super important, guys. This is an example of just a slightly bigger RVP who generates $300,000 a year of income, most of which this time is in overrides. You've got 10 division leaders who each get 2 clients, just 2. And you, the RVP, get 5. If you do that, your personal cash flow is $5,000. Your override income, though, is $10,000. But as RVPs, you get bonuses, not just on what you did, but what your team and you did combined. So the bonus here is $5,000, a 20% bonus on everything. And so you add some securities in there, $4,500. That's a total monthly income of $25,000 a month. Our leadership tells us my life hasn't begun yet. He said, your life doesn't begin till 20 to 25,000 a month of income. Why is 300,000 a year so important? Why do we show that to every single interview that we do? We don't know who's going to take advantage of this, but next slide. It's because of ownership and overrides, guys. People say they understand this, but if you recruited less than 4 directs last month or less than double-digit recruiting, you don't understand this. It's an enormous perpetual money machine, and I can't hear what you say because what you do is so loud. Ownership is the end to a cost and the continuation of the benefit. The recipient of future value on an appreciable asset. On an appreciable asset. It's just Primerica was truly meant to be a perpetual money machine. Next point. You don't want to rent your greatest asset. Okay, what is your greatest asset? Your greatest asset, and I'm not going to draw for the sake of time, I will thoroughly build a visual in your minds. The lower class, and this used to be me in high school with my Jordans, sagging my pants, thinking I'm a thug. I mean, I think I still am a thug, but all the other things I dress nicer. But the lower class says, my greatest asset, man, if I could just drive a $200,000 Lamborghini, I'd be happy. I'd be okay. The middle class says, man, that house, that $3,000-$4,000 square foot home that costs $500,000-$600,000, man, if I could have that, I'd be okay. The upper class understands that our abilities to earn income is truly our greatest assets. If someone earns $50,000 a year starting at the age of 20, works 40 years to the age of 60, 40 times 50,000 is $2 million you will earn throughout your work life. What's the greater asset? The $200,000 car, the $600,000 home, or the $2 million you will earn over the course of your work life? It's your ability to earn income. And the good news is you can develop yourself, which will correlate to the income you earn growing. But see, most people rent their greatest asset by going to the job. You wouldn't rent if you owned a home and someone said, hey, let's go from owning the home to living in the apartment. It'll have less square footage. You'll never own it. You'll never have equity. It'll be great. You wouldn't do that. But then people rent themselves out in bi-weekly and hourly increments at their job. Next bullet. If you don't own your life, you'll always have to keep expending. It says expanding. It's supposed to be expending the time for the reward. You'll always have to do that. Okay? And you will not be able to pass it on to your kids. And the chain reaction continues. Okay? So perpetual means everlasting, meaning it's never going to stop, guys. If you don't own your life, you will always have to trade something for the other. Renting requires continued cash flow or time flow to maintain possession with no future value or equity, guys. With no future value or equity. JOB, why is it say it's like an acronym? Because JOB stands for just over broke. I don't believe we were placed on this earth just to get by, just to scrape by. Just over broke. You're renting your income. So you will always need to trade time for money. Therefore, you will always be short of one of the two. And at the job, the only way to increase dollars is to increase dollars per hour or the amount of hours. Oh, but Josh, I'm self-employed. I'm full-time self-employed in Primerica. Yeah, but see, your money comes from transactions. The only way to increase your income is to do more transactions. Next. 100% off one is the most unstable source of income this planet has ever seen. If this person if you get sick, your money stops. If your child gets sick, guys, on the kickoff meeting that we watched 1 or 2 days ago, Mary Walker spoke of her son that got into a car accident and got paralyzed and put into a coma for months on a machine that was helping him breathe. If that was your child, would you be able to leave the job and spend the time with your child where you should be without being in fear of losing your livelihood? Probably not. That's not how it works at a job. Next slide. It's time to get the system of the multiples working for you so that you can obtain ownership and overrides. See, if you could, I'm going to ask a question, guys. If you could experience massive passive income, okay, not tiny amounts like I'm experiencing right now, but see, we know it's coming. If you could, would you want to? If you could provide for your family in abundance, not just scraping by, not just abundance with money, but abundance with time and freedom, okay? Without leaving them, would you want to? We won't know until we see your actions, okay? We can't hear what you say because what you do is so loud. I'm proud to be your teammate, guys, and I truly, truly hope this July 4th special was helpful to you. I really, truly hope you guys go and build something big for your families, because I certainly am for my family.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. So if anybody has questions, I know we went a little bit over, but I mean, hey, we're here to make money. We're talking about being financially independent. If you guys have questions for us, you can put it in the chat. We can answer those questions for you guys, but we'll give you guys a couple minutes if you have any questions to answer those for you.
Thanks, Shay, for the compliment. Who's got questions?